Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris And. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere you go. iHeartRadio, TuneIn, 99.7 WTN. Those are the apps. You can watch the show. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Our personal favorite is YouTube, where we have the most red-pilled chat in conservative radio. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. Join the conversation and the audio that we play on the show. You'll be able to see the video accompanying it on the YouTube feed. It's a work in progress. We're getting better at it. Mason has been absolutely clutch these past couple weeks as we've stepped up our YouTube game. I don't often sling praise Mason's way, and it probably won't happen again for a very long time.
Yeah, I will hold on to this like every dollar I have in my bank account.
All right, so listen, we're growing our YouTube, and I understand that I'm about to crap all over Michelle Obama. I'm just let me preface with that. I am going to drag her. But I also want to be completely honest. Like, yeah, we're growing our YouTube. We need to get our views up. I look to you to help me in that situation. It helps feed the kids. So if you want my kids to go hungry, don't watch on YouTube. But if you want them to be fed and go to summer camp, hit like and subscribe. So I'm just prefacing with that. I know where our YouTube numbers are at, but I also want to let you know I am not Michelle Obama. My husband was not the president. I don't have the clout of the former First Lady. And that's why this is so shocking. Unbelievably shocking. Michelle Obama had millions of dollars worth of advertising. Just about every mainstream media outlet was talking about her podcast, and everybody was just giving her glowing reviews until the podcast came out. And I got the podcast here. All right, can you see that on the screen? You got that on the YouTube? Okay, so this is the Michelle Obama podcast. Let's take a look. Let's dive into some metrics. First thing I notice is only 17.7 thousand subscribers. Now, to be fair, we have a little over 7,000 subscribers, right? A little over 7 on our YouTube.
Yeah,
it could be more if you would hit like and subscribe. But hey, what Do your thing. You're driving. Michelle Obama has 17,000 subscribers on YouTube. Millions of dollars worth of promotion. We essentially have half of that with dollars of promotion. Right? Like, am I wrong?
I mean, yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, listen, we have a flamethrower of a radio station, the best listening audience in the world. I'm convinced this audience is better than any radio station audience I've ever been a part of. I've been a part of a lot of radio stations.
Absolutely.
But I'm just pointing out the differences, right? Millions of dollars worth of promotion for this. Millions. Plus all the free promo that you can't even really quantify in a short period of time. She only has 17.7 thousand subscribers. Honestly, if everybody that listens to this radio station today went over to our YouTube page and subscribed, we'd have more subscribers than Michelle Obama. That's embarrassing. I'll just be honest with you. That should be embarrassing. Everybody in the country knows who Michelle Obama is. Not everybody in the country clearly knows what Super Talk 99.7 WTN is, right? That's embarrassing. So you get all this money, all this promotion, launching a big old podcast. Everybody's excited. 17,000 subscribers. Yikes. She's dropped 3 episodes. Well, excuse me. 2 episodes, 1 teaser trailer. Okay? She hasn't garnered out of those 3 videos 100,000 views. Yikes. That's unmitigated disaster, total failure, an abomination of a podcast. Yeah, I would go that far. So we get episode 1. 2 siblings start a podcast. I'll just be honest with you. A lot of people are really rude in the comments. It's the only reason I went to the podcast yesterday. And does it count? Do you get a view every time you refresh the page, or does it log your IP? You only get one view. I might have given them 2 or 3 views. So,
Chris, we've talked about this.
So it's 47,000 views in one day on that first episode, minus 3. Okay, I did it for research purposes. And I'm sure that a lot of these views are conservatives who are just going here to razz Big Mike and his brother. One of the first observations that many had about Craig, that's her brother, Craig. Craig, I don't know about you, looked a little bit more feminine to me than Michelle. Did you catch the same vibe?
There's an air.
There's like
There's an air.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a fancy guy. He could just be a little fancy. He could just. But I don't know. That was my read.
You sure about that?
I'm just saying. All right, you want to go to the comments section?
Oh, I've already been scrolling a little bit.
Okay. All right, you guys can see this on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 10 hours ago. Remember when this guy drowned his chef in a lover's quarrel?
Jeez. That was the first one I saw, and I went, oh, this is about to be a lot.
I paid an IRS fine for 3 years in a row because your husband said I should pay for health care that I couldn't afford or else. They're going to have to disable comments next episode. This is true. This is one just for the YouTube audience or CNN when they're talking about Doge employees. I worked my blanks off to get here. Joan Rivers was right. The internet is a great gauge for just how influential someone is. The old guard media is absolutely dead. This is funny. So the other night I was on Turning Point Tonight. We're on Real America's Voice. Joe Bob's got a new show. It's fun. It's a good show.
Genuinely a good watch.
Yeah, genuinely a good watch and worth the watch even if I'm not on the panel. But I was on the panel the other night, and we were talking about Michelle Obama. And they said, is this her way to gear up for 2028? And I said, no. Well, first of all, we all understand Michelle Obama doesn't like D.C. She just doesn't. She's not a fan. Secondly, if she wanted to be the president, she should have struck when the iron was hot, when Joe Biden was dropping out. She didn't. And if these numbers tell you anything, the Obama name has lost all value in this country. All value. All of the clout, all of the influence got you 17,000 subscribers and not even 100,000 views on 3 videos. She was everywhere promoting this thing. All over the place. Everybody was talking about her new podcast. IMO. It's Michelle and Craig. Nobody watched.
Oh, I just found an interesting one. Mike's and Craig's relationship is so unique. Just 2 siblings reminiscing about how they were little boys sharing a bedroom.
Oh, my gosh. It's rough. I guarantee you more than half of these views that are logged on this were just conservatives going to the comment section.
Yeah, most of these comments that I've scrolled through so far are like, yeah, I got on the video. Hope it didn't count as a view because I hit pause immediately and scrolled down.
You ever see the Hodge twins?
Yeah.
Those 2 brothers, they do a podcast.
Killer. I love those guys.
Somebody said 4 hours ago, oh, the Hodge twins getting a much needed rebrand. Oh, geez. Forced, scripted, not authentic. 0 out of 10. These comments are wonderful. The earth is healing. Click on video. Immediately hit pause. Go to comment section. Popcorn. Laugh.
Just 2 down-to-earth brothers chopping it up.
Which one's Michelle? This one will get me in trouble. It's raw and uncut. Letting it all hang out. It's untucked with Big Mike and Craig.
I hate myself for laughing at this stuff.
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so good. 17,000 subscribers, 47,000 views, millions of dollars worth of promotion. Name a worse investment. I want to call Paul Winkler and see if that's a smart choice with your money.
Probably
Can you get Paul on the line? Is this a good investment?
Here's another one. You and Newsom should start a podcast together. Name it Why We Suck. I'm sure it'll crush.
So I did this last night. So I was like, okay, is this a Michelle Obama thing or is this a Democrat thing? And I think it's a Michelle Obama thing because if you look over at Gavin Newsom, he's got 24.8 thousand subscribers, right? His Charlie Kirk video, the first episode, got 741,000 views in 6 days. So it was essentially doubling what Big Mike did in one day. And the Steve Bannon video got released 21 hours ago that has 97,000 views. So that's a second interview that he's done. So that holds true, right? Michelle and Craig, they're getting 47,000 views in 24 hours. Newsom is getting 97,000 views in 24 hours, doubling Michelle Obama's audience.
Yeah, easily. And I think to give credit where credit's due, even though it's really hard to, Newsom is being smart about who he's bringing on.
Well, Newsom is bringing in new audience.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, you look at, all right. On Newsom's podcast, he had episode 2 was with Michael Savage.
Yeah.
Who's another talk radio guy. Again, I wouldn't say he's, household name. Like, I know who he is. I like him, but that got 16.
Surprised he's still around.
Honestly, that got 16,000 views 14 hours ago. So Mike's not bringing in that audience. Bannon got 97,000 views in 21 hours. You can absolutely make the argument that Bannon is bringing in that audience.
Oh, 100%.
I think that the Michael Savage 16,000 views in 14 hours, that's Newsom's audience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Gavin's bringing to the table. So maybe Gavin's not bringing as much to the table as Michelle Obama, but the strategy is much more sound.
Yeah. He's got a smarter team behind him.
And then Charlie Kirk got 741,000 views in 6 days. And then I think he got like 1 million when he reposted it on his own channel.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
But Michelle Obama, this is embarrassing. If you gave us millions of dollars of promotion, do you have any idea what we could do with Super Talk TV? Seriously, if you're a private investor, call me. Like, we could do some big things.
Oh, yeah.
We could do a lot. I mean, with the hosts that we have, with the variety of topics that we discuss, with the guests that we could get, our podcast channel would be massive with millions of dollars of investment. We've had dollars of investment, and our metrics are almost better than Michelle Obama. It's wild. Wild. Andrew Nichols on YouTube commented, "It's called Two Brothers." I thought IMO stood for I'm Mike Obama. Oh my gosh. This is bad. This is real. I'm just here to drop a dislike. I know there's a DNC staffer whose job it is to read these comments and gauge engagement. This comment is to let you know that we don't want your podcasts. We want policies and improving our material conditions. Yeah, honestly. Nobody's excited about the Michelle Obama podcast except for Michelle Obama and Craig. That's it.
Big Mike on the mic.
Big Mike on the mic. You want to give me a little audio here?
Yeah, man.
This is Michelle. Oh, my bad.
Oh, the video's muted.
Yeah, it's muted on my side. My fault.
A lot of people have questions. They want to know, especially when they see somebody of note with a platform who, by every measure looks successful. The first question is, how?
My first question was how to. You are somebody of note. Your platform isn't really there at only 17,000 subscribers. But my question was how? How did you do so bad? How?
Another good comment on here. 56 million followers on Instagram, and you only have this many views.
Isn't that embarrassing?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, and you can go into services and find out how many of their followers are fake.
Yeah, how many are bots, how many are paid for.
I wonder what the percentage is on Michelle Obama's followers. What are fake?
They're all investment bot accounts trying to get you to pay.
Yeah. Hey, I got a great deal on crypto. that's who follows her.
Send me $3,000 and I'll help you make it big.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. This may be one of the most embarrassing blunders media-wise in Democrat history. It's awful. And then you listen to it. I listened to like 15 minutes of this.
I'm sorry.
It is just like nonsensical and this air of self-importance, and they don't really talk about anything. Craig's like, everybody wants to know how my sister is, what's she like. It's like, ugh. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? So this is Michelle Obama's podcast. Are you excited?
No.
I'm dropping a dislike. Boom.
You right to jail.
If you listen to this podcast, we have one thing for you. It's right to jail.
Right to jail.
That's it. That's it.
Right to jail.
I wish we were doing these numbers, though.
Yeah.
Anybody want to invest millions in our channel?
I'm here for it.
I guarantee you we could quadruple what she's doing if we had the investments.
Easily.
Easily.
With the connections you have, with the friends that you have.
Well, not just me. What
Just the
about
information you
Mandis and
provide.
Murphy and Benson? These guys all
That's
have
what I'm
connections and great guests and all that, too.
That's what I'm saying. Laying out one show, you have all that. Now,
Multiply by
quadruple it.
4. Yeah, exactly.
quadruple that.
Yeah. Imagine what we could do. You know, they have a big meeting in a couple days about digital and investments.
Ooh.
I want to let them know we could do Michelle Obama numbers with about a quarter of the investment. Less. Maybe like a tenth of the investment.
I'd make that deal.
I'd make that deal. Would you
I'll
make
make
that deal?
that deal. How about you, Udovich? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Some details on our rocky weekend weather that's ahead, and it could be severe. Stick around. We'll let you know about it. Also, TDOT plans to close 3 lanes of I-24 starting tonight. We've got details straight ahead. Those stories at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 9:28 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand.
Some details on our rocky weekend.
Oh.
It's me, but twice.
Ooh.
Is that me?
I think so. I think you still got our YouTube channel up.
Sorry about
Like
that.
and subscribe.
That was me?
I think so, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
My audio's all messed up in here now. Oh, well. Anyway, we got Susanna Underwood coming up on the show, and I'm very excited to be speaking with her. She's going to talk to us about the measles outbreak. Yes. Are you scared about measles? Terrified. Shocked. I think that this needs to be a much bigger story. But Susanna Underwood, she actually runs Borough Holistic Health, and I'm very excited to talk to her. She's got a cool story. She is a certified naturopathic doctor who nearly 20 years ago left conventional medicine to go with the holistic approach. And she founded a private membership association, and this lets them practice under the First and 14th Amendment while maintaining medical freedom and staying outside of government overreach. It's a fascinating story. We're going to talk to her about that. We're also going to talk to her about RFK and the measles outbreak.
It used to be when you and I were kids, everybody got measles. And the measles gave you lifetime protection against measles infection. The vaccine doesn't do that. The vaccine is effective for some people for life, but many people it wanes. And one of the problems is it does not appear to provide maternal immunity. It used to be a very young kids. You don't want a 1-year-old kid getting measles. That's very dangerous. They were protected by breast milk and by maternal immunity. But women who get vaccinated do not provide that level of maternal immunity that the natural measles infection did. So you're now seeing measles hit very, very young kids and hitting older people within whom the vaccine has waned. And that is something that we need to worry about and that we're looking at HHS.
Should we be scared about measles? We're going to talk to Dr. Susanna Underwood from Borough Holistic Health when we get back right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. 65 on the southbound side. Watch for a crash. It's at Trinity Lane, and the right shoulder is blocked off. Got to keep an eye on the weather for this weekend. Channel 4 Stefano DiPietro telling us that things will start to get a little rocky around here starting tomorrow night.
2 rounds of rain and thunderstorms to track for, as we mentioned. Those are the main threats that we are tracking, and we're getting a better picture now once again of what these severe threats are looking like. Along and west of I-65, a 3 out of 4 on that scale Friday night and into early on Saturday.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 is pretty serious stuff. He says you can expect thunderstorms and possible tornadoes. And then there's a chance that parts of the area will get more than 3 inches of rainfall, and that could cause some flooding. Expect that more on Saturday than on Friday. So get yourself prepared now. Keep it here on 99.7 WTN for all the latest information. Got a reminder that TDOT will shut down 3 lanes on I-24 starting tonight. They'll be making repairs on overhead signs. So beginning at 8 o'clock tonight, I-24 westbound is closed between Haywood Lane and Bell Road until 5 a.m. on Friday. Now, there is going to be 1 lane available. You can bet, however, it's going to be jammed. So TDOT says everyone should plan for delays or find an alternate route. Well, you know that Virginia high school track runner that hit her opponent on the head? She's now being charged for it.
A high school track runner accused of attacking her opponent with a baton now faces assault and battery charges. But she insists it was an accident.
I'm sorry I hit her. I didn't mean to hit her. It was intentional.
It happened during a relay race at the Virginia High School League Championships. Kayleen Tucker was passing Alayla Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head, sending her to the ground. Everett says it happened because she lost her balance.
ABC's Andrea Fujii. A court date for this girl has not yet been set. That is the latest news. We've got your weather just ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at United Structural Systems, USS. You heard during Jones's newscast and during the weather, we got more rain on the way this weekend and maybe some severe storms. But the rain, if you got waterproofing issues at your house, that's what you're worried about the most. And if the water is going to be getting into your crawl space and into your basement, you're biting your fingernails just thinking about it. Don't do that. Get peace of mind. Call United Structural Systems today. These guys are your waterproofing experts, and they've been doing it for over 3 decades. They have 30,000 satisfied residential customers, and they do it because they don't send a sales guy to your house. They don't send somebody that's going to upsell you on the next big thing. They send a problem solver with experience in fixing your waterproofing issues. Stop ignoring the problem. It's only going to make it worse. If you ignore the water getting into your crawl space and basement, it's leading to wood rot and foundation issues. It's leading to mold. It is making your home unsafe. Call USS today. Let's get that waterproofing issue fixed. 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. Online, USSTN.com. It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. The media's been in an uproar. It's the measles. Are the measles in the room with you right now? They might be. Now, a lot of this, I think, is fear propaganda, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just not. So I know a medical doctor friends with a medical doctor, Dr. Susanna Underwood. She's a board-certified naturopathic doctor who 20 years ago left conventional medicine to pursue a holistic approach to healing, and she now operates Burrow Holistic Health. This is a private membership association, and the way they do it, it allows them to practice under the First and 14th Amendment, so that way they can maintain medical freedom and avoid government overreach. I love what these guys are doing at Burrow Holistic Health. I have the utmost respect for Dr. Underwood. She joins us now on the line to talk about the terrifying, scary measles outbreak. What's up, Doc?
Hey, Chris, it is great to be on the air with you, and I cannot wait for this conversation.
I'm happy to have you. Is there a measles outbreak? Do we need to be worried about a measles outbreak? Should we rush to the nearest vaccine distributor and get an MMR shot? What do you think?
Well, absolutely not during the midst of an outbreak. That's the worst thing to do. But I will just say one thing, that we have to put a disclaimer out there, because this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. And we just we're sharing information, right? It's not that we're telling people what to do. This is your choice. This is your health. But you do need to have an informed consent. You do need to have a choice. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. So information can be very interesting, right? So it's presented in such a way that it can be very misleading. And there might be some truth to it. There absolutely can be. But there always is something we're missing. So what we're talking about is this whole outbreak and measles in Texas. And yes, we're saying there's over 200 cases, et cetera. But we have to understand that there's more to this story. The conversation that we're having today is, honestly, we're hearing in the news, it's being provoked by the death of a child. Now, the death of a child is absolutely devastating. We all understand that. But there is more to this story than just measles. The child was from a Mennonite community. They were brought into Gaines County, Texas. They went to the hospital because of high fever. This is not a community that normally brings children to the doctors. And so they had a high fever. They could not get down. Respiratory distress was the most urgent. And so the child was diagnosed with, I'm going to say this, you need to understand, the child was diagnosed with RSV pneumonia. I'll repeat that because you need to understand, RSV pneumonia is what they were diagnosed with. So what happens at that point? They roll out protocol. The protocol was for RSV pneumonia. It was not what the parents were requesting. They were saying the child needed a breathing treatment. They were not given that. So this child passed away, and things turned tragic because of that rollout. And again, we're not blaming hospitals. We're not blaming anybody. But that was the protocol. And you know how protocols go. They must be followed. So that's what happened. Breathing treatments were not given. The parents were begging of that. High-dose vitamin A was not given. These are part of protocols that can be even found on the CDC's website. So these types of standards of treatments were not provided. And it is unfortunate that's the way that turned. But that's what happened. So again, misinformation coming from a situation that did turn tragic, but we don't know all the ins and outs of the story.
No, clearly not. And is this one of those things where if they're now attributing it to measles, but it was really RSV pneumonia, is this like when people would die of COVID, but they were really in a motorcycle accident? Is that kind of like the same lane of thinking?
Right. So the child did have measles. It was confirmed. She did. But that's not the problem. The problem is that the child did not die because of measles. The child died because of the treatments, the rollout, right? They had measles. They did not die because of measles. There are two different things here. And people, again, we saw this rollout. We saw this type of situation, this bait and switch. We saw this kind of things with COVID. And we need to understand that this is what we're seeing again. So absolutely, when you get to the bottom of these kind of things, you start realizing, wow, okay, there is definitely more than I need to understand. Not to be fearful about it, to just understand and be educated. One of the I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is very interesting. So some of the boots on the ground there, Dr. Ben Edwards, he is an integrative medicine family practitioner in Lubbock, Texas. He actually was called to Gaines County right after this because I guess the family of the deceased child had other siblings and they were concerned about them. So he jumped into action immediately, set up a makeshift clinic at this church. He started administering, this is an amazing story, he started administering high doses of vitamin A and budesonide. He's sent out 100 scripts of budesonide, which is a type of a steroid that helps with opening up the respiratory and lungs and such. And so he is best used in a nebulizer, FYI. I'm not giving anybody recommendations, quote unquote, but telling you this is what he did, and this worked amazingly. So he started using these things. He administered this to over 70 patients in one day. He ordered, no joke, he started seeing such an amazing turnaround. He ordered 1,700 pounds of cod liver oil and treated 70 patients with that, wrote 100 scripts for budesonide, and he said it was literally next day turnaround.
Really?
And unbelievable story. You've got to look this up. Dr. Ben Edwards, Integrative Medicine in Lubbock, Texas, what he did for these children was outstanding. And he says, and I quote, he says, I was just doing normal doctoring, which I love because that's exactly right up my alley. Normal doctoring maybe for his neck of the woods, not unfortunately what we're seeing all over the country.
No, and you see the media ramp up fear when they could be selling a success story like that, but I guess that doesn't sell as much. But the fear is, oh no, measles. Should parents be afraid of this currently, right now, as it stands?
Well, let's talk about that because the general course of measles illness is not deadly, and people need to understand that. In fact, generally, it's very simple things with good nutrition, a dark, quiet environment, lots of warm liquids, lukewarm baths. For babies, it's skin-to-skin contact and breast milk. Very high, good quality sources of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D plus K. But again, it's the proper doses of vitamin A, which does need to be administered by a practitioner or a healthcare of some sort to let you know how high that needs to go, because it can be bad, and it's only for a couple of days. But most kids literally cruise right through this. And they have the common things, which I call them the 3 C's, and it's the cough, and it's the 3 C's. And obviously, when you're going to say the C of the second one, it's very interesting because it's not a C, but it's the nasal cavity is very mucousy. And the word for that is coriza. And so that one is C-O-R-I-Z-A. And that one is just, again, mucus in the nasal cavities for these 3 C's. So it's the cough, the heavy amount of nasal cavity mucus, and conjunctivitis. That's in the eyes, right? So that's going to be things like looking like pink eye. You can almost tell immediately with the eyes. And then that's your dead giveaway. And then these are things that you'll see afterwards. So you'll see the high fever. Then you'll see maybe some swollen red cheeks, some things like that. They just look sick. They feel sick. But these are things that people can just go right through as long as your immune system is being supported along the way and not suppressed. And that is what I use as naturopath. Honestly, naturopathy really began an understanding, and it shines in situations like this because it looks at the body as a whole and not just a disease state at that moment in acute care. Looking at the body as a whole is so important. But honestly, we saw all of these types of things, all of these signs and symptoms, the cough, the nasal congestion, the conjunctivitis, the fevers, the rash that comes days afterwards, which is a little tricky for some people because they don't catch it so quickly. Mm-hmm. But those are historically what you see. And we saw all that on our favorite episodes of the Brady Bunch.
Yes,
and we saw
I remember
this
that.
Historically to be true, right? This is it. People were not afraid of the measles. So as long as you have some of these very simple things, the basics of life, getting some good fresh air, things of that nature, people can absolutely breeze through it, and there should be no chance of there being an issue. Now, I'm not saying zero, but there shouldn't be. Measles can absolutely kill, and historically, if you go back, you can see where it did, but up until the point of where all of a sudden the immune system started kicking in, herd immunity started to happen. We brought the measles down to almost nothing, zero, before in 1963 when the vaccine was brought out. And you can look at every CDC and PubMed and all of these good science literature places and see that the measles infections was almost eradicated on its own. It will never be. It's a wild virus, so it can never be fully eradicated. But that it absolutely was at its lowest point when the vaccine came in to play. So it's not that we need to go run out and think that the vaccine is the holy grail here. We just need to understand that it was because of our bodies. Our bodies were doing what God designed them to do. They were responding. They were going through an illness and making their way through it without problems. Some did have, but most did not. But the eradication of this is not possible. So we need to understand that you cannot eradicate a wild virus.
We're talking with Dr. Susanna Underwood of Burrow Holistic Health, good friend of mine. And so the conversation online, though, has been very splintered on this. You have the Maha movement saying that RFK has turned their back on them because he's not as anti-MMR vaccine as he needs to be. And then you got guys like Peter Hotez, Dr. Peter Hotez on CNN, attacking RFK Jr. for being too anti-vaccine. Can you give me some audio?
They play up and try to scare you with the very, very rare side effects and forget to tell you about the horrific effects of the illness. This is what they did with COVID versus COVID vaccines. And for measles, it is an incredibly safe vaccine, and the incidence of side effects is so extraordinarily rare. And by the way, the MMR vaccine does not cause autism. That's also been thoroughly debunked.
Has that been debunked? Where is the truth? Like you got the Maha movement saying that RFK isn't anti-MMR enough, and then you got Hotez saying he's too anti-vax. Where's the truth in this?
Yeah, listen, he has never been like completely saying, no. He has said, let's explore the vaccines. Let's see exactly what's in them, because that is the problem. He has never said, no, never, not. He has just been very much, I don't believe that what we are being given is the truth about people need to have informed understanding. You can get encephalitis, you can get blindness, and you can get measles from getting the shot. You can die. Absolutely. Children die every year from the vaccine itself. That is what he's basically stating. And I saw the videos, I saw everything that's gone viral, and people are freaking out. But listen, he hasn't ever said no. He has just said, informed consent, informed choice. You have to be able to make your own choice, and you have to understand that you can get this. You can get the measles, absolutely, but you can also get them from the from the vaccine itself.
That's an interesting point. And you said that, children have died from the MMR vaccine, and my brain goes to
every year.
So
yes.
What's worse though? How do more children die via the vaccine, or do more children die via the measles?
If you looked up on VAERS on the operating there for the vaccine event, there's more injuries and things of that nature there on the VAERS site. That will tell you that children are dying every year, and more have died with the vaccine than with just the live virus itself. And here is the other thing. Remember, vaccines induced immunity is not lasting. That is why children who have received the vaccine can absolutely have it and spread the vaccine. But we're only pointing fingers at the unvaxxed, which is not fair. It is a myth, and it is not true. I believe we're going to start seeing more epidemics like this, because here's the thing. We have generations who got the wild measles virus and have passed away now, right? We have a lot of those generations from the early 60s and earlier in the 50s who actually got the virus, and now they're passing away and they're moving on, right? So now we're going to start seeing more outbreaks of the measles, because the majority of us do not have natural immunity.
Interesting.
And so like I explained earlier, the vaccine-induced immunity is not lasting. So we are believing that we're going to start seeing more epidemics of this nature, because, again, we're not seeing moms and doctors and grandmas who says, oh, yeah, that's just the vaccine. That's just the measles. That's just the chicken pox. Oh, we've seen that before. There's nothing to look at here. We'll take care of that. We're not seeing that anymore. We're seeing people who are freaking out because of the fear that's being mongled around. So people absolutely need to just honestly start critical thinking, calm down, understand COVID. If COVID taught us anything, it was to not react quickly, to understand that the information that's being presented isn't always the end-all, be-all, and that we need to look a little bit further. And number one, not respond in fear. Because what is fear? The acronym of fear is so true. It is forget everything and run, or false evidence appearing real, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
So
no matter what you feel about this conversation or this topic, I want to leave with absolutely a couple of key things so people understand that when you understand that when good decisions are never made based on fear. Fear is something that makes its way in, and it makes things feel much worse than they really are. It twists our perspective, and it makes us react in ways we never would have. So jumping out and running out right now and getting the vaccine, that would be the worst thing to do in the middle of a pandemic. So it's not that I'm saying this is a pandemic. I'm just saying it's got the roots for it. So if you can definitely push that away, stand firm, make sure you understand, not believing just lies and media and hype, but feel what is right in the moment for you and your family. The fear is terrible to guide you. You need to understand what clarity and wisdom, they only come when we step back and we really understand what is going on and talk to people who have the wisdom in all of this.
Dr. Susanna Underwood from Burrow Holistic Health, I really appreciate the time. How can people keep up with you guys? How can they get in touch with your practice and more?
Yeah, so absolutely. The website is burrowholistichealth.com, and you can check there for a lot of our information. And then obviously on the social platforms, it's Burrow Holistic Health or Dr. Susanna Underwood on Facebook. But yeah, those are the great way to get a hold of us. Come by the clinic. We are local in Murfreesboro. We love giving tours and showing people everything that is all under one roof. So absolutely.
Yeah, my family loves Burrow Holistic Health. I got a text from Virginia. She said, make sure you tell Doc I said hi. So.
Yes, love to Virginia and your family.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the time, Doc. Thank you so much. It is 9:54 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Want to know where the rolling roadblock is now? It's on 65. It's in the northbound lanes at Rosa Parks Boulevard, and 2 left lanes are blocked off by it. In the news this morning, weather forecasters are saying we've got high confidence that we're going to have some severe weather here over the weekend. Stefano DiPietro of Channel 4 says it'll begin tomorrow night, late in the night.
Friday night through the day Saturday, 2 rounds of showers and thunderstorms, and everything is on the table. Heavy rainfall, damaging wind gusts, maybe some hail, even a few isolated tornadoes through Friday night and into Saturday.
And straight line winds are also on the table. You want to stay weather alert all weekend long. Sunday looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day after everything clears out. It is a portal for fraud. The DOE team is saying it's making changes to the phone system at the Social Security Administration.
Starting March 29th, Social Security recipients will no longer be able to use the agency's phone service to update banking information for their direct deposits. Recipients will have to use the internet or go in person. ABC News first reported last week that DOE was examining the phone service as part of a broader anti-fraud effort. The new change is relatively minor. Advocates say they still worry more changes could be in store, whereas President Donald Trump says only fraud is being targeted. Ann Flaherty, ABC News, Washington.
College basketball fans from across the country are crowding into Nashville for the SEC tournament. And Metro Nashville police say they're all staffed up and ready for it.
But this year we feel safe because we see all the police everywhere. We see the police presence. We see roads blocked off, so you know you're safe. So we definitely feel safe.
Those ladies speaking to Channel 4 there, you may have to dodge more of those pedal taverns than you usually do this weekend. 2 women arrested for stealing from a couple of Lululemon stores yesterday. 31-year-old True Valentine and 31-year-old Erica Hooker were busted at the store on 11th Avenue South because one of the women tried to sneak out some clothing, even though it had a security tag on it. Now, she also had a small prying device to remove those tags. Once intercepted, police searched their car, found more than $1,000 worth of Lululemon clothes in the car from the Green Hills location. Both women are scheduled to appear in court on April 4th. And some tariff news for you. President Trump announcing this morning that if the European Union wants to impose a 50% tariff on American whiskey, well, the U.S. will impose a 200% tariff on wine and champagne from France and the EU. That's the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere with iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or the 99.7 WTN app. You can watch the show, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and our personal favorite, YouTube, where we have the most red-pilled chat in America happening every single broadcast. Show starts at 9. I will say this, though. Have you hit like and subscribe yet? You know, we have what, like over 7,000 subscribers. That's pretty good. Michelle Obama has millions of dollars behind her, and she has 17,000 subscribers, which is embarrassing. But if you'd like to help us beat Michelle Obama, go hit like and subscribe.
Lucky for her, her kids aren't going to camp this summer.
Her kids are too old for camp.
True.
So she doesn't have to worry about this. The Obamas. You know, they took one for the team buying that oceanfront property to keep an eye on the sea levels. So for that, we salute them.
We appreciate them so much.
Oh gosh, I don't like them at all.
Don't they think the sea levels are going to rise, so their house might get washed away?
That's why they're there, to keep an eye on it.
They're going to be the first ones to warn us.
They're gonna be like Paul Revere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're gonna let us know when it goes down.
They're going to see something happen. They're going to get on the record an entire hour podcast, edit it, and then 3 weeks later release it.
And then 5 people are going to see it.
And they'll be like, oh, hey.
2 if by land, 3 if by sea.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, we salute them. We sure do love the Obamas. They're getting divorced, right?
Allegedly.
Jennifer Aniston and Barack?
Allegedly.
I feel like that's real.
I don't know, man.
It's real to me.
You identify as believing.
How bad is it going to be when they're like 6 episodes into the podcast and they realize that they have to get divorced or the podcast is going to fail? We have to do it for the views. Click like. Please. Hit subscribe. Millions of dollars, 17,000 subscribers. Embarrassing. We have dollars and we have 7,000 subscribers. Dollars.
We're catching up.
Help us beat Michelle Obama. Hit like and subscribe on YouTube. You wouldn't want an Obama to win, would you? That's what I thought. Hit like and subscribe. All right, so we got a lot to cover today. Did you see Elon Musk and Trump talking on the White House lawn the other day about the Tesla attacks, saying that they would be labeled as terrorism? I'm sure we talked about this yesterday. This is something that needs to happen. This isn't a protest. This is terrorism, violence, and extremism with a political aim. Trump was talking about it the other day.
He talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL. I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies. I did a very big favor for the NFL. I do favors for all of them. When you heard an American company, especially a company like this, supplies so many jobs that others are unable to do, when you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them. And we have you got a lot of cameras up. We already know who some of them are. We're going to catch them.
I mean, you're seeing Teslas firebombed and tires stolen, and that's just at the dealerships, right? In the streets, you're seeing individuals having swastikas carved into their Tesla. One guy in Portland had a swastika carved into the hood of his Tesla. And this guy, obviously a liberal if you're living out there, this guy had a bumper sticker on the Tesla that said, "I bought this before Elon went crazy." So he knew what was coming to him, still got a swastika carved into the hood of his Tesla. And then, I mean, the hopeless liberal that he is said, instead of fixing the car, I could have donated to the DNC. It's like, you're not learning. You're not catching up. Congress is officially going to be investigating the Tesla attacks as domestic terrorism. The Post-Millennial has the story. House Speaker Mike Johnson announcing that Congress will investigate domestic terrorism attacks against Tesla. Thank you. Thank you. You can't do this, right? You shouldn't be allowed to do this. This is following those reports of vandalism, destruction at Tesla dealerships and charging stations across the country. This comes after what we saw, was this 2 days ago outside the White House, where the media said, oh, Trump's being a car salesman. Okay. Got it. Congress will investigate the sources of these attacks and help the DOJ and FBI ensure those responsible are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Mike Johnson putting that on X Wednesday morning, praising Elon Musk's efforts with Doge as heroic. So we've had attacks in Oregon, Massachusetts, California, Colorado, and New York. What do those states have in common? Oh, yeah, rabid leftist population. Got it. Largely from demonstrators opposed to Musk's effort with Doge. This is the thing that just, it's so mind-blowing. They're trying to save you money. Do you understand that? Like, to all the leftists out there who are just so up in arms at President Musk, he's trying to save your tax dollars as well as mine. He's not just trying to save conservatives' tax dollars. He's trying to save Americans' tax dollars. It's mind-blowing that these people get their updated programming from the DNC and they say, Musk is bad, must destroy Tesla. It's like months ago, you were loving Teslas. Oregon, Massachusetts, California, Colorado, New York. That's where we've had attacks on Tesla dealerships. Again, largely because Musk has the audacity to want to save Americans money and reduce government spending and identify waste. Protesters have been holding signs comparing Musk to Hitler and calling him a Nazi. If everybody's Hitler and everybody's a Nazi, nobody's Hitler and nobody's a Nazi. It's Spinal Tap. If everything's an 11, nothing's an 11. You can't just call him a Nazi. There's no evidence for that. Oh, he did a Nazi salute. Oh, no. Did he? Did he really? My heart goes out to you. It's a Nazi. Oh, it's the worst Nazi I've ever seen. We've had multiple vehicles and charging stations set on fire. President Trump on Tuesday said the attacks at the Tesla dealerships would be classified as domestic terrorism. Now Congress is investigating it. Tesla stock was in decline after the White House thing. We saw a bump up. Trump bought a Tesla. I'm here for it. I do think that this is absolutely violence with a political aim. There's no other way around that unless you listen to leftist media. MSNBC, well, they described the attacks against Tesla as, well, protests. And I would say, yeah, fiery, but mostly peaceful, right? Are we doing that again? It was a protest. It was fiery, but mostly peaceful.
But then you also overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now, you know I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
Oh, weird. I mean, we were labeled domestic terrorists and put on watch list for using words like based and red-pilled under the Biden administration. We were put on watch lists and looked at by the FBI for having the audacity to say, "Hey, what are you teaching my kids in school?" I wouldn't appreciate a boy in the girls' locker room. Well, we were put on watch lists for that. Now MSNBC has a problem for people being labeled terrorists for doing terrorist things. Is this? Am I right? Am I listening to this right? I'm very judicious, the MSNBC host says. I understand the law. But this is a protest.
Yeah, because what they don't understand is the fact that people are burning cars. They are damaging property. This is different than just a standard stand outside of a business that you disagree with signs.
Yeah, no, protest is one thing.
Yeah.
Lighting charging stations on fire is completely different.
Yeah, vandalism and harming other people's property is entirely different.
And we can all be honest, this has not reached the heights of the summer of love. So maybe that's the measuring stick at MSNBC. It's quite the stick. Quite the stick. This is where we're at. These are protests. Donald Trump wants to label protesters domestic terrorists. No. No. He wants to label terrorist activity as terrorist activity. You're causing violence and harm for political reasons. I mean, that's quite literally the definition of terrorism. Trump also went a step further and said he would do this for any American company. And to that I say good. We should be looking out for American companies. That it's America first, right? Should be, but MSNBC says no, this is a protest. This is a protest. One dealership in Salem, Oregon, attacked multiple times. Trans-identified male. It just seems to always be trans-identified males that are doing this. Was arrested in connection with these attacks. Molotov cocktails thrown at a dealership, several vehicles. Second attack took place on February 19th. Windows of the dealership were shot out. Several vehicles struck by gunfire. This is a protest, right? This is just a simple protest. Are you keeping score at home? This doesn't sound like a protest to me. And we had another trans-identified individual at a Tesla dealership in Colorado. He got caught with Molotov cocktails and graffiti. Again, always seems to be the transgender-identified males, doesn't it? Listen to this report about the Tesla attack in Colorado.
Around the country ever since the end of January, including here in Colorado, where this Tesla storefront was vandalized multiple times with Molotov cocktails and anti-Elon Musk graffiti.
At what point does a Molotov cocktail become less of a protest and more of just domestic extremism and domestic terrorism, right? That's a protest. It's a protest. Tell you what, you find a good conservative protest, right? Tell me how many people show up with Molotov cocktails. I'm 36 years old. I've never seen that. Have you ever seen a conservative protest where people show up with Molotov cocktails? Even that insurrection, January 6th, the deadliest day in American history. 0 Molotov cocktails. Surprisingly enough.
Lucy Grace Nelson, a transgender woman, now faces federal and state charges for the Colorado incidents. Dealers in some cities are also being protested. 9 arrested at this one in New York. President Trump offered his support to Musk at a White House event yesterday.
Trump offered support to Musk. Did you see the picture of the individual that was arrested? Just putting that up there on the YouTube. If you're listening on the radio, you are missing some of the visual experience that's happening on the YouTube stream. Hit like and subscribe when you go over there, and definitely worth a rewatch when you get home if you're in the car. But I don't know. This individual looks a bit mentally unhinged to me. And it does seem like a lot of these protests happen to be with transgendered men, trans-identifying men. I don't know how to say it right. Dudes that think they're ladies. I think that's the proper way to put it. This individual right here. Molotov cocktails and graffiti. It's just a protest, guys. Chill. This isn't domestic terrorism. It's a protest. Calm down. That's what the left wants you to believe. We've seen how the left protests. Got it. It's a protest, right? It's just a protest. It's just a protest. If anybody says anything different, you tell them. Just a protest. It's 10:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. $10:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. The month is March, and Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling have an amazing deal all month long for you. It is spring rebate madness at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Listen to the rebates that you can get. You get a mini split 17 SEER or heat pump 17 SEER. You land an $800 rebate. Heat pump, 15, 16 SEER, $500 rebate. Duct sealing or repair, $300 rebate. Tune-ups, $50 rebates each tune-up you get. So if you buy a Beehive Club membership, which is only $99, you get your spring tune-up and your fall tune-up. It pays for itself. And here's the deal. Busy Bee will even file the rebates for you. All you got to do is handle the appointment, and then you'll get the check in the mail. How cool is that? Sign up for that Beehive Club membership today. Best value in HVAC. You get 3 annual tune-ups, 10% off all repairs, front-of-the-line service, a $100 annual accrued replacement credit with a maximum of $1,000, no overtime or holiday fees, and exclusive Beehive member promotions. That's Busy Bee, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
How Russia is responding to a ceasefire deal. We'll tell you what Vladimir Putin has to say about that. And a man just rescued from his childhood bedroom. He tells police he's been there since the 4th grade. What a bizarre story. They're coming up next here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 1024, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We love those guys. I'm Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on air. I got a good text here from Joe. 6775. Did you see the text from Joe? He said, I listen to the radio broadcast because I want to listen to the radio. Why do you folks want us to watch you so much?
Have you seen Chris?
I got an award-winning smile, people tell me.
That's right.
People tell me I got a good smile. A very manicured beard. Joan loves my eyebrows.
I do.
There's many reasons.
Yes.
There's many reasons to watch. Nah, listen, I kind of like Joe. I don't like being told what to do either. So I stand with Joe. How the hell do I want to watch you? I said, well, you don't. I said to him, you don't have to. You still get the goods. The FM dial's still kicking. In fact, I think you get a little bit more on the FM dial than you do on YouTube. But we're trying to offer more here. And Joe, I would ask you that even if you don't want to watch us, if you could go over there and hit subscribe, because we have a goal today to beat Michelle Obama, okay? We have 7,000 subscribers. She has 17,000. You wouldn't want an Obama to beat WTN, would you? Head over to our YouTube page, hit subscribe. You never have to go back again, Joe, I promise. just help us beat Mike. Oh. Whoa. Moving right along, Tom Homan spent some time yesterday in New York City. Concrete jungle, where dreams are made of. That is, unless you're an illegal alien, things are getting a little bit tighter for you around there. And he met with New York Republicans, and he was a little bit pissed off. Especially when it comes to congressional members educating illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE, which I completely understand why this would piss off Tom Homan.
No excuse for someone being in the country illegally to commit a crime and not being handed over to ICE. I don't understand it. It's just, they're here in violation of law. That's not okay, first of all. And a lot of the people who look on it, they're just not criminals. Let's get back to members of Congress educating people. They're educating people who enter the country illegally, which is a crime, got convicted of a serious offense, and were ordered removed by a federal judge. That's a due process. Who doesn't think they should be removed, for God's sakes? We're a system of laws. We need to follow the law.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. System of laws, we should follow the law. Tom Homan had a lot to say yesterday. There's one video of him. He's walking in. He's walking in to meet these New York Republicans, and there are protesters there, mostly peaceful. For the record, let the record show there were no Molotov cocktails at this protest, okay?
That you could see.
That I could see. They were inside. It's probably not the best place for a Molotov cocktail. But do you remember that video of Pierre Poilievre, the guy that's going to be the conservative candidate for prime minister for Canada, Canada's conservative prime minister candidate? Is that right? Is that what I would say? The governor. He wants to be governor of Canada.
Sorry, you said 51st state wrong.
He wants to be governor of Canada. He's going to be running. But there's an old clip of him talking to a leftist reporter. He's just eating an apple, munching it. This video had the same vibes. Tom Homan is walking in to meet with New York Republicans yesterday, and he is being screamed at by protesters while he casually walks by with a huge smile on his face, munching on an apple. Just, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see this smile. I mean, that's a good smile. That is a good smile. What are they saying? No hate, no fear. Illegal aliens belong here. Is that what it was? Something like that. Tom Homan calmly eating an apple while the left screams at him. I feel like that is a perfect representation of what we've been dealing with since Donald Trump has been elected. We're calmly walking and smiling while the left just melts down into unhinged chants. It's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Tom Homan had this to say about Donald Trump's massively successful border policy. This is yesterday.
Border security. No one understood that better than President Trump's first term. His success on the border is unprecedented. Unprecedented. Now, he just came back in office, and I came back out of retirement for the second time to serve as president because I respect him so greatly. He did in 3 weeks what Joe Biden couldn't do in 4 years.
Now, listen, I'll disagree a little bit. Joe Biden didn't try to do anything in the 4 years. Joe Biden didn't just roll back Trump-era policies that worked. He actively sued states that were doing productive things to limit the illegal migration into this country. He sued Arizona to remove the shipping container wall that they were making. He sued Texas to remove the buoys from the Rio Grande. He sued Texas over the razor wire and Eagle Pass. He sent federal agents to Eagle Pass to lift the razor wire with a forklift to let the newcomers come on in. It wasn't just that Biden was bad at border enforcement. It's that Biden was anti-border enforcement. Biden went the opposite side of that pendulum. We're seeing a real president taking it serious now with a border czar who's a bit more serious than our last border czar, and the results speak for themselves. We'll talk about some of those results, including the 33,000 ICE arrests since Trump has been elected, when we get back after Jones Newscast right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good Good morning now, 10:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, it is closed this morning on Whites Creek Pike, north of Jackman Road. They're still cleaning up that crash from earlier this morning. Right now, they're cleaning up the diesel spill part of it. And then you've got the rolling roadblock, making things a mess on 65 northbound just before I-24, I-65 north. That's exits 86A and B. And that rolling roadblock has traffic backed up behind it as well. In the news, U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff arriving in Moscow for talks with Russian officials now, and it appears that Vladimir Putin is more interested in capturing more land than a ceasefire deal with Ukraine.
Vladimir Putin seems pretty committed to keep fighting. He's been down in the Kursk region visiting troops there. Russian troops have been pushing the Ukrainians out of that area that they had hoped to hold onto to keep as part of a negotiation leverage in any future negotiation. And on that visit, we saw Vladimir Putin wearing military uniform. The first time we've seen that since the Russians invaded.
ABC's James Longman reporting. He says Putin wants to keep about 20% of the part of Ukraine that Russia is already occupying. Eyes to the skies this weekend as we await some big-time weather.
2 rounds of rain and thunderstorms to track for, as we mentioned. Those are the main threats that we are tracking, and we're getting a better picture now, once again, of what these severe threats are looking like. Along and west of I-65, a 3 out of 4 on that scale Friday night and into early on Saturday.
And then on Saturday, according to Stefano DiPietro, there's some pretty likely that we'll have some severe weather that will include 2 to 3 inches of rain and the possibility of flash floods as well. Careful out there. And a bizarre story out of Waterbury, Connecticut, where a man set fire to his bedroom and then told rescuers that he had been held hostage in that bedroom by his stepmother for more than 20 years since he was in the 4th grade. That man's now 32 years old. He weighed less than 90 pounds. Mayor of that town, Paul Peranowski.
The young man's unimaginable suffering over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world. Our hearts and our prayers go out to him. We're committed to supporting him in every way possible as he begins to heal from this unimaginable trauma that he suffered.
The stepmother, Kim Sullivan, was charged with kidnapping, assault, and cruelty. That's the latest news. We've got weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We love those guys. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You do know why you need them, right?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
BetterWater.com. Do appreciate you. We're streaming on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app. The FM dial is always there as well, if you want to kick it old school. But the video side is live as well. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and our personal favorite, YouTube. We have a new initiative here. See, Michelle Obama launched her podcast and her YouTube channel, and I'm asking the audience to help us beat Big Mike. We'll come up with a better name. I'm asking.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They got millions of dollars behind this YouTube channel. 17,000 subscribers. We have dollars behind our YouTube channel, and we have 7,000 subscribers. It's hilarious, but we don't want an Obama to win. So I'm asking everybody in the audience to go hit like and hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, so that way we could have more subscribers than Big Mike. Help us beat Big Mike. I got a text here from Joan. Joan said, as much as I enjoy your shows, some of us can't afford YouTube and therefore like and subscribe, especially since they raised their prices just prior to your launching this push, hoping you collect what you need to send your kids to camp. The kids to camp thing is kind of just like a bit. It's free. We're free at youtube.com. Everything's free.
Yeah.
You subscribe to the channel and then you get all the updates when we go live and it'll push it to your feed. It's not, there's no money being exchanged.
Yeah, actually subscribing, it's not like a fun thing. It's literally just to get the notification that we're going live.
Yeah, you just click the button.
There is YouTube TV,
which is different.
An entirely separate thing. That's you pay for that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
Nothing. We're not Bernie Sandering you and asking for money.
No.
That's not our style.
All absolutely free.
It's not our style. So please head over to the YouTube. Help us beat Big Mike. Hit subscribe.
YouTube.com.
Hit subscribe. We do appreciate it. And, I was monitoring the text line, and 4417 sent in a dope meme in regards to what we were talking about earlier. You got that on the screen over on YouTube? All right, so let me describe the meme for you. It is on the top of the meme. There's a Tesla on fire with some Trantifa members throwing Molotov cocktails, and the media personality says vandalism. And then on the bottom screen, it is a truck peeling tires on a pride flag crosswalk, and the media personality is screaming, "Hate crime! Hate crime!
Hate crime!
Hate crime!" Thank you for the meme. 4417.
It's so good.
It's so good. If you got any memes that you want to be featured on the YouTube feed, you can always send them to the text line, 615-737-9986. We were talking moments ago about Tom Homan, who's just an absolute beast of an individual. I think we need 100 more Tom Homans in this world. Can we? That's fair, right? We could use even more than that.
Oh, 100%.
100 would be a good start.
Yeah.
Tom Homan went to meet with the New York Republicans, and he was greeted by unhinged leftist protesters, to which he calmly smiled, laughed, and bit his apple as he walked by. Just an absolute boss move. But they're mad. They're mad that Tom Homan's effective. And I've made the comment before, and I'll make the comment again. I think we need to get these numbers up. I think that they're rookie numbers, and I think that if we had a lot of funding and a lot more support behind these guys, we could get these numbers up. But let's be real. 33,000 illegal aliens have been arrested by ICE since Trump took office. That's a big number. That's a big number. It's not the number we need to be at, but it's a heck of a start. 33,000 illegal aliens have been arrested by ICE since Trump's inauguration, including thousands of gang members and terrorists. That's important to underline. These are not the domestic terrorists of old, moms and dads who went to school board meetings. These are actual terrorists that are sneaking into our country under the Biden administration. They've been arrested by ICE. The arrests, spanning less than 2 months, also outpace the number of criminal illegal aliens Biden's ICE agency arrested in fiscal year 2024, when just 32,000 were taken into custody. So let's put that into perspective. While we understand that the numbers need to go up, we have drastically stepped up enforcement. 32,000 were arrested in Biden's final fiscal year. 32,000. Since Trump has been inaugurated, that number of arrests by ICE of illegal aliens, 33,000. These are not the same, right? Like this is definitely a ramp up. This is definitely an improvement.
It has been 52 days, 10 hours, and 42 minutes.
Oh, it's been glorious, hasn't it?
What a glorious 52 days, 10 hours, and 43 minutes.
I mean, think about all we've been through in the last 52 days. We've had trade wars and stock market crashes and going back up, and inflation numbers that are lower than what they expected. Employment, manufacturing numbers are just through the roof. They completely reversed, and I'm getting squirreled, but they completely reversed the job loss by the Biden administration. We were losing almost 10,000 manufacturing jobs a month under Joe Biden. Donald Trump didn't just stop the bleeding. He completely turned it around. And now we added 10,000 last month in manufacturing, 9,000 in the auto industry, bringing good paying jobs back to Americans for Americans. And make no mistake, it's going to be for Americans. Tom Homan has said that workplace raids are going to be stepped up. So if you're employing illegal aliens, you might get a hello. And I hope you do. Just being perfectly honest, those jobs belong to Americans. But of the 33,000 illegal aliens that have been arrested since Donald Trump took office, more than 1,000 were suspected gang members, far more than the 483 gang members arrested in the same time period last year. 39 of the individuals arrested, 39 were suspected terrorists. And ICE officials said the arrests were made through the 287G program, where local law enforcement's contract with ICE to keep illegal aliens off their streets at large, arrests, and the agency's criminal alien program. ICE leadership announced last month that from January 20th to February 21st, more than 20,000 illegal aliens have been arrested by the agency. Officials also said that while Congress has funded about 47,000 ICE beds to hold illegal aliens, the agency is currently maxed out, needs more space. This is critical. We need more funding. Kristi Noem needs more funding. Tom Homan needs more funding. This is something that they're going to be working with Congress to get more beds. A senior ICE official has said the agency is looking to massively expand detention space, but they do need some more funding. Let's be perfectly honest. If this operation needs to be executed at the highest levels, we're going to need to step up the commitment from the government towards these enforcement agencies, and that's dollars. Dollars will make a difference. Going forward, you're going to see the bed space increase and releases go by the wayside, the senior official continued. It's still unclear the total number of deportations of illegal aliens since Trump took office in late January. When asked about the total, an ICE official said he did not have it in front of him, but said such efforts are stronger and higher than ever. Again, 33,000 illegal aliens arrested across the U.S. since Trump took office. This is a big deal. Now, maybe those numbers would be higher if members of Congress would stop educating illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE. Wouldn't that be nice? We got Dan Goldman posting videos with Mandarin subtitles. Yeah, I wonder who that's for. You got Ilhan Omar posting videos in her native tongue, talking to Somalians about how to avoid ICE. And you had AOC doing webinars on how to avoid ICE. Tom Homan has a message for those members of Congress.
It's just, there's no excuse for someone being in the country illegally to commit a crime and not being handed over to ICE. I don't understand it. It's just, they're here in violation of law. That's not okay, first of all.
Facts.
And a lot of people are looking at it. They're just not criminals. Let's get back to members of Congress educating people. They're educating people who enter the country illegally, which is a crime.
Yep.
Got convicted of a serious offense.
Yep.
And were ordered removed by a federal judge after due process.
3 strikes, right?
Who doesn't think they should be removed, for God's sakes? We're a system of laws. We need to follow the law.
We're a system of laws. We need to follow the laws. That's Tom Homan on members of Congress educating illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE. Yeah, honestly. And he went a step further. I mean, he was blasting sanctuary cities for releasing these criminal aliens back into the streets. We had that hearing with all the mayors, and this is going on in too many large cities. But you have You have mayors, and they're saying to the police, don't worry about it. It's fine. Sure. This individual, he's got a crime of child rape, but let's not inform ICE. This is what's happening in our cities. Why would you want to release these individuals? They're going to go back on the streets. ICE is still going to look for them. And now the illegal alien is in more danger. The community is in more danger. And our law enforcement officers are in more danger. Who thinks that's a good idea? Tom Homan doesn't think it's a good idea. And he blasted those sanctuary cities.
Because if you don't let ICE in the jail to talk to the illegal alien that you locked in a jail cell, not us. You took an illegal alien and locked him in a jail cell. That's who we want to talk to. But instead of letting us give us access to it, honoring or detaining it, what did you release them in the public? What does that mean? That means the men and women of ICE are going to have to go out in the neighborhood and find them.
I love the line he said there just a couple sentences back. He said, "You arrested him, not us." Well, like you arrested this person for violating your laws, and yet you don't want to turn him over to ICE. So now you're putting law enforcement officers in a more dangerous situation. Illegal alien is in a more dangerous situation. The community is absolutely in a more dangerous situation. And for what? So you can act big and bad and resist the orange man and the deportation efforts? You look foolish, let's be honest.
So sanctuary cities is going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the community and more collateral arrests because you have forced us in the community because you failed to let us in the jail.
More collateral arrests. You want to protect the illegal alien community? Well, what you do is you let ICE go to the ones that are in the jail cell, so that way they're not doing the workplace raids, right? So that way, Jose's abuela doesn't get caught up in the immigration sting when they go find him, right? Like, you're doing this. You're in the land of unintended consequences now in these sanctuary cities.
What a shame. Why not give access? Someone in the country that committed a crime against U.S. citizens sitting in jail. Why not give access ICE to that person so when you're done with them, we can have them and do our job? Because releasing a public safety threat back in the public is just stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think he said it as nicely as he possibly could. Stupid. This is stupid. This is unsafe. And you're putting American lives at risk. And you see some of these crimes. The absolute horrific evil that is being perpetrated by these illegal aliens. The crimes against children. My gosh. Some of these crimes, I don't even think deportation is what's needed. Some of these crimes, you listen to them and you hear the reports, and I think wood chipper feet first is actually a far more suitable solution. Personally. Who do we have to petition to get wood chipper feet first as a penalty for child rape? I don't know. I would support it. I'm just letting you know. I would support that. Tom Homan had a lot more to say, and he took aim at Governor Kathy Hochul of New York. I'll bring you that audio when we get back. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe. We are trying to beat Big Mike. Michelle Obama has 17,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel. It's free to do. She's got millions of dollars behind her. We have dollars behind us. So if you hit subscribe, we can make sure that Obama doesn't win. Help us out. It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Better Water LLC. We love these guys. Great sponsors of the show. You got to think of Better Water LLC as a big Brita filter for your house or office, scalable from an under-the-sink model to a whole home application. Now, why would you need this? Well, do you know what's in your water? Like, seriously, do you know? Well, I have a well. I don't have to worry about this. Are you sure? I've heard some horror stories of people with wells as well as people with city water. You could have some nasty stuff in there, sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, E. coli, and Better Water will remove all of that. They'll even test your water for free. Honestly, this is the best deal. You call Craig, you call Brandy, they'll come to your home and test your water for free. 615-355-6063. If you got some nasty stuff in your water, they offer a whole range of water treatment equipment, from reverse osmosis units to water softeners to specialized filters to UV lights, you name it. And this is a company based right here in Middle Tennessee. Support these guys because they're patriot, they love the country, they love this station, and they support what we support. Shop with these guys. 615-355-6063 is the number to call. They'll test your water for free. 615-355-6063, betterwater.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Drivers in Jolton, we've got Whites Creek Pike closed north of Jackman Road because it's jacked up due to a diesel spill. West End in Nashville, debris blocking the left 2 lanes, 440 westbound right before I-40. Over on the North Loop, still fixing potholes. Rolling roadblock, got left 2 lanes blocked, 65 northbound right before 2465. Poland has a favor to ask of the United States. A really big favor. I'll tell you about it at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. I'm Chris Haynes. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So we got a thing going on. We're in competition with Michelle Obama. I don't think Michelle doesn't know.
For clicks and likes?
For clicks and likes. So she has millions of dollars behind her YouTube channel. Millions.
She's got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, and a podcast.
Oh.
Do you know how many? So they put out 4 videos, and they have yet to crack 100,000 views. Millions of dollars behind this. Millions of dollars behind this. She has 18,000 subscribers right now. So I'm asking the entire audience to help us beat Big Mike.
Yes, sir.
What you do is you head over to our YouTube page and click on that subscribe button.
Yes, sir.
Let's get our subscriptions up.
Yeah.
I think with this audience, we can beat Big Mike together. I do.
And it costs absolutely nothing.
It's free.
Yes, sir.
It's free. Tom Homan had some harsh words for the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. And he has some things to say about resources when it comes to arresting illegal aliens. I'll bring you that when we get back. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we are tracking the potential for severe weather late tomorrow night, then another round Saturday afternoon and Saturday night with all the things on the table, including tornadoes. Tell you more about it during the full forecast in 5 minutes. Poland has a favor to ask of the United States, a really big one, says Ines de la Kutara.
Poland's President Andrzej Duda asking the U.S. to transfer nuclear weapons to Polish territory as a deterrent against future Russian aggression, a request that is likely to be perceived as highly provocative in Moscow. Duda said he recently discussed the matter with Keith Kellogg, U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine, telling the Financial Times, quote, "I think it's not only that the time has come, but that it would be safer if those weapons were already here."
Breaking news from the White House. They're withdrawing former Florida Congressman Dave Weldon's nomination to be director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The reason, not yet clear. He's a doctor. However, legacy media outlets have been going hard on Weldon, calling him a vaccine critic. He was set to begin taking questions from senators on the Health Committee this morning. We're following an incredible story of survival out of Connecticut. Here's Mike Dubusky.
It was like a scene out of a horror movie, according to one prosecutor in the case, when fire officials responding to a call came upon an emaciated man. The 32-year-old allegedly lit a fire in an attempt to escape after having been held captive by his mother for more than 20 years. Waterbury, Connecticut Police Chief Fernando Spagnuolo.
There was a very controlling situation going on regarding the victim's condition, his whereabouts, his connection with other family members.
Police say this man suffered smoke inhalation. He was just 68 pounds. Fewer Americans filing for jobless claims last week, signaling the labor market remains healthy. No Doge effect here, says Jim Ryan.
In all, 220,000 jobless Americans filed their initial claims for unemployment benefits in the week leading up to March 8th. That's a drop of 2,000 from the previous week. Employment analysts had been expecting a slight rise in first-time claims.
Spring is bringing us another visit from the cicadas, and Tennessee is one of the 5 states that will see the highest concentration of these critters. If you care to get close enough to notice, scientists say the cicadas this time around have a little more color to them. They'll appear more orange and black. This brood won't come back again until 2042. I like those last summer. Had the red eyes.
Oh, yeah, staring into your soul.
Exactly. I bet your brother Chris has got a conspiracy theory about them.
For sure.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Six minutes past the hour of 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. You can also find us on Super Talk TV. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. When you hear us playing the audio on the show, on the YouTube stream, you can also see the video that goes along with it. Mason has been clutch with that. I don't send praise his way very often, but he's been a great producer. Way better than Mac Morey.
Let's go.
I'm just saying.
You know what? I've been waiting to hear you say that since yesterday.
Ken, what are you talking about conspiracy theories with cicadas?
I was, brother Chris.
We got new cicadas coming into town?
We got new ones coming, man. These are going to be a different color than the last ones. Remember, the last ones had the bright red eyes.
Yes.
Looked like aliens. I loved it.
We're excited about cicada season.
Yeah, these are going to be orange and black.
Ooh, spooky Halloween edition.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys, they're not going to be back again until 2042.
Nice.
That's wild.
Well, I can't wait. The last thing we did with cicadas is my boys, especially my oldest one, he's just fearless. Like, he got into, like, bee catching. Like, he got into, like, beehives, right?
Yes,
like,
sir.
really into bees. And so he's just, like, grabbing bees out of the air. And I'm like, you're going to get stung. He's like, Dad, if you're going to do beekeeping, you're going to get stung. I'm like, is the bee stinging you right now? He's like, it is. It's like, that's Brooks. But so Brooks is fearless. When the cicadas came, he ran outside with string. And he was catching cicadas, and he was tying strings to them, and then he was flying them around the yard.
Excellent.
Like on a leash. I love it.
Excellent.
Sign me up for cicada season.
Yeah, I loved that brood, man. I mean, I'd go on a walk every morning. I'd catch several of them. Just to sit there and I'd take them with me.
This is Trump's America. Cicadas are welcome. illegal aliens are not. You like that radio segue? That's pretty good.
So here's the thing: cicadas were born here. They have US citizenship.
Yeah, they're from here.
That's right.
They're from here. These illegal aliens are not. Biden wanted to welcome him in as newcomers. The Trump administration is saying you gotta leave. You gotta leave. They've repurposed that CBP One app to be a CBP Go Home app. You gotta leave. You gotta leave. Self-deportation or forced deportation. Take your pick. 33,000 illegal aliens have been arrested since Donald Trump took office. That's not deported. That's arrested. We need to get these numbers up. Let's be perfectly honest. We need to get the numbers up. One of the things that we need to do is have more cooperation with local law enforcement. And you have these sanctuary cities where a large majority of these illegal aliens are residing, refusing to cooperate with ICE, refusing to help. And they'll say things like, oh, we don't have the resources. And Tom Homan, he met with the New York Republicans yesterday, and he's taking questions from reporters, and this reporter says to him, well, what about the resources? Do you think law enforcement has the resources to do this? And he said, resources? You want to talk about resources?
Do you think local law enforcement has the resources to both cooperate with ICE and also conduct public safety for Americans that are committing crimes?
Yes.
Why?
Because they want public safety threats out of their community too, and they're willing to work with feds to make that happen. Every time I go to New York City, I don't think I've ever seen an NYPD officer that didn't come shake my hand and thank me for what we're doing. They want to help. These officers, they don't get paid a lot of money, but they want to protect their community, and they know someone's here illegally, and they can help not only remove them from the community, remove them from the country, make the community safer. They're all in. And I don't think it takes a lot of... Rather than arresting the same guy 5 times, arrest him once, give him to us. You don't arrest him anymore. I think it's going to relieve a lot of officers' time on the streets.
You want to talk about resources? You've arrested the same guy 5 times. You could have had him handed over to ICE the first time. Do you have the resources to do both? Cooperate with ICE and conduct public safety. It's like, well, you're arresting the same guy 10 times, 5 times, 20 times in some cases. You talk about resources. Talk about manpower. Let's talk about tax dollars spent, holding him in the jail cell, sending him to court, sending him back out to the streets, having officers arrest him again. Yeah. Actually, I think from a resource standpoint, the most efficient thing that you could do in some of these sanctuary cities is turn them over to ICE. Or hey, keep doing what you're doing, right? That's the definition of insanity. Expect different results, by all means. But this is the policy in many sanctuary cities. This is the policy in New York. And this policy it's not just New York City. I mean, it's New York in general. And it starts with New York's leadership. Governor Kathy Hochul, Tom Homan had a message for her yesterday.
Now let's talk about the green light law. Let's talk about your governor. Your governor who's staying on national TV after NYPD were assaulted by illegal alien gang members. Mm-hmm. You had a woman burned alive by illegal alien subway. Your governor stands on national TV. I think criminal aliens should be deported. What's one of the first things she do? She goes down to New York City and tries to fire the mayor who wants to help me find public safety threats. Let me give a shout at Mayor Adams. Like him or love him, I called him up for 2 years by not doing enough. As a career cop, he wasn't doing enough. But when I sat down with him back in November, he came to the table. He wanted to help on significant public safety threats. He don't want to be an immigration officer. I don't want to be an immigration officer. But the mere fact he wants to get us into Rikers Island, where people are locked up because they committed a crime, he wanted to get federal immigration authorities back into Rikers Island to talk to illegal aliens who committed a crime against a citizen.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Mayor Eric Adams wants to fix the issue. Yeah, you can argue maybe this is self-preservation for Mayor Eric Adams. That's a self-preservation strategy. Well, even if that's the case, at least he's doing the right thing. Governor Hochul, she's not. You have illegal aliens setting women on fire on the subway. You have illegal aliens beating up cops in Times Square. And they're arrested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. What about the resources? I'm thinking about the resources. Seems like a bit of a mess, does it not? Oh, but Tom, You're making the immigrant community so fearful. Oh, the immigrant community, because of these deportation efforts, they're so scared, Tom. Don't you understand that? You're making people scared. This is literally what a reporter said to Tom Homan yesterday. But Tom, you're making the illegal aliens scared. And it's like, oh, what about the U.S. citizens who watched a woman lit on fire on a New York subway? What about the grandma in New York who just wants to go down the street to buy some groceries but has to pass by a migrant shelter? Oh, but think about the immigrants. Oh, okay, all right. Let's see how Tom Homan feels about that.
So it's not about raiding schools. It's not about raiding churches, but the left's pushing it, trying. We don't have to. No one instills fear in the immigrant community. Is the left, the Democrats. They instill fear. ICE is going to raid schools, and we got kids not going to school because they think their school's going to be raided. It's ridiculous.
What about the shelters in the city? Is that an area you guys are staying away from right now, or do you expect to go into those at some point?
We're going to enforce the law no matter where it is.
I like Tom Homan. Listen, the left is the one instilling the fear. You can zoom out and do this on any other topic too. It's always the left instilling fear. That's the easiest way to control the population, right? Fear. Time and time again. It's a tale as old as time. You know, during the campaign and the lead up to the election, I remember CNN had a thing. It was like a trans kid. It's like, oh. I'm worried that Trump is going to get elected and somebody's going to kill me on the street, a MAGA supporter. It's like this young 11-year-old kid. I felt so bad. I was like, it's so the opposite of what we want to do. Like as a conservative, I look at this trans kid. I'm like, man, we want to save you from what's happening to you. And the left instills that fear that we're so evil that we want to kill you. And it's just not true. Oh, the immigrant community is fearful. It's like, what about the Americans that are living there? We're not trying to instill fear. We're trying to bring safety back to these streets. And in case you missed it or your head's been under a rock, New York exactly hasn't been the safest place to be lately. Yeah. Oh, the left. The left is the one that instills the fear. I mean, it's a very accurate statement. But this is what they do, and they have their talking points, and one of the big talking points is child separation. You're going to separate kids from their parents, and Tom Homan has said this many, many times. You don't have to be separated. You can be deported together. We can deport you all at once. Also, the child separation stuff at the border. Most of that was to make sure that these kids weren't with human traffickers selling them into sex slavery. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. But Tom Homan had some words for individuals screaming about child separation. And Tom Homan says, listen, you want to talk about child separation? Let's talk about child separation under Joe Biden.
I always hear all the time, family separation. Homan's the godfather saying family separation. Let me be clear. Zero tolerance is about saving lives. If we figure we start prosecuting people who violate the law and put the children in harm's way, maybe they stop coming. And they did. Numbers went down. It's unfortunate families got separated. But it happens to American families every day. It's going to happen in Albany today that American family will be separated by law enforcement because the child can't go to jail with a parent. But you want to talk about family separation? 500,000 children on Joe Biden were trafficked into this country. They can't find 300,000 of them. That's a separation.
Amen.
But you know what President Trump's committed? We're going to find them, and we're going to save them, because many of these children are in forced labor, many of these children are in forced sex slavery. We're going to save them. This administration. Yeah,
I mean, listen, he deserves that applause. He does. All the left does is they have the biggest hearts, and they care so much. It's like, what? But where was that energy under Joe Biden when kids are being sold into sex slavery, right? Forced labor. Where was that heart? Where was it? Nowhere. Absent. Color me shocked. Again, the numbers need to get stepped up. We need these deportation numbers to increase. We need the arrests to increase. And I want to see this operation actually being the largest deportation effort in human history. We need it. We need it. As a country, to get ourselves back on the right track, we need it. Yet we still have government officials who are leaking ICE raid operations. Well, I guess we did. Kash Patel announced yesterday that the ICE raid leaker, one of them, has charges pending. This story is from the Post Millennial. Breaking, CBP official charged with attempting to defraud FEMA, lying to federal agents. FBI Director Kash Patel revealed on Wednesday that a career employee at the U.S. Customs and Border Protection has been charged with attempting to defraud FEMA and lying to federal agents. Following efforts with our interagency partners, I can report that a career director-level employee at U.S. Customs and Border Protection has been charged with allegedly attempting to defraud FEMA as well as lying to federal agents. This is part of the FBI's renewed effort to crack down on public corruption and deliver the accountability to the American people. This is a part of a renewed effort to crack down on public corruption and deliver accountability for the American people. The Department of Justice released a statement identifying the employee in question as 55-year-old Serena Baker Hill. Served as director of the United States Customs and Border Protection Center for Excellence and Expertise over automotive and aerospace engineering. According to the DOJ, Baker Hill applied for FEMA assistance following severe flooding in Detroit in August 2023. After a FEMA inspector confirmed damage to her basement, Baker Hill could not safely reside in her home during repairs, leading to the approval for disaster relief funds, 2 months rental insurance. She lied to FEMA. During an interview with the FBI and CBP Office of Professional Responsibility agents, Baker Hill denied any wrongdoing, insisted she had never defrauded the government. She has now been arrested, and we need to see more arrests. We need to see more arrests. You're lying to federal agents. You're leaking these operations. We need to have your face plastered on TV, and you need to be made an example of. Hopefully sooner rather than later. It's 11:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Do you need health insurance? Do you have health insurance? Are you paying too much? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you should talk to Shane Ring. Shane is an expert in health insurance. He has over 20 years of experience, 75 different companies to shop from, and he could be saving you easily 30 to 60% on your monthly premiums just by shopping the entire market. Now, this doesn't matter what your income level is. It doesn't matter what your health status is. Shane can be saving you some money. Don't let yourself or someone you know get taken advantage of by these car salesman insurance people. You don't need that. Talk to Shane. He's got the experience, and he has the companies to shop from. Some of the plans that he can get you on will even pay you when you use them. Most of the plans will save you 30 to 60% on your monthly premiums. Does this sound good to you? Well, go ahead and give Shane Ring a call today. Let him know that Chris Hand sent you. He'll show you how much you could be saving. It's going to be a lot. 615-465-0023 or go to covernash.com. That's the website. The phone number one more time, 615-465-0023. It's time for you to get a health insurance plan managed by you, not the government. Covernash.com.
All right, Jolton, still got that crash that has Whites Creek Pike closed just north of Jackman Road. They're cleaning up a diesel spill there. And TDOT reporting a crash on the right shoulder. This is going to be over on the west end, 440 westbound, right before I-40. Russian President Vladimir Putin just gave the U.S. and NATO something to talk about. I'll tell you about it at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. 11:24, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's available on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the FM dial. You can watch the show, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and our personal favorite, YouTube, where we're trying to beat Big Mike right now. Michelle Obama has thousands of subscribers, like 18,000, all right? And millions of dollars behind her YouTube channel. We are but humble meme farmers on our YouTube channel. We have dollars behind it. And I think we're doing pretty good, but we want to beat Big Mike, and we need your help. It's a large task. So go to the YouTube page, hit like, hit subscribe. I do appreciate it. And join the chat. Join the chat. We got the most red-pilled chat in America over on the Chris Hand Show on the YouTube page.
Love them all.
Jump in there. Shout out to the chat. You want to join the show, 615-737-9986. You can text that number. You can call that number. Tony in Franklin wants to talk about illegal aliens. What's up, Tony?
Not much. How about you, Chris?
Not much, man. What do you got?
Oh, I was a small-town cop down in Mississippi back in the early 2000s, and we were just getting, about that time, I forget who was president, maybe Obama, but we were getting overrun, and the chief of police came to us one day to give you a brief summary. When a small town carries a prisoner to jail, the jail charges that town. A big city may be paying in the millions a year to house prisoners. And he said, we just can't afford it. We can't afford to do that anymore. We started writing tickets, other than, some offenses we did, and not take them to jail, but tie it to the car and impound the car. And then somebody would come get the car and pay the fine, because you wrote them a ticket. They would just tie up the court system endlessly because they wouldn't show up for court. They would, they were scared, whatever.
Yep.
But they got to go. They need to go. I mean, they're causing a lot more problems. I haven't heard anybody touch on that point of what they're costing some towns, like a Murfreesboro, for example, where you live. Beautiful town. Love it over there.
Yeah.
But when they may be paying in several million a year to house prisoners, and you got somebody who's not paying taxes here. They're not paying into the system here other than sales tax, and they're costing all of us money, and that's something that people are not thinking about when they want to keep them here. So we just found a simple solution to take care of it and not tie up the city's fund for them. So. Anyway.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good point. Nobody does talk about what it costs the little cities, and I appreciate the call, Tony. We'll hear what it costs the big cities. We hear what it costs Denver and New York, and it's like millions upon millions to billions of dollars in New York's case. It's insane. Denver had to cut their police department to pay for the migrants causing crime. Make that make sense. I have no idea. But the cost is insane. The cost is insane. Luckily, though, under Trump's economy, we can afford more things. It seems like it is getting better in the economy. There's a new CNN poll out, which I'm sure is much to the chagrin of CNN employees. It shows that there's a surge in presidential approval on economy under Donald Trump. Americans are far happier with the economic leadership of President Trump than they were under Joe Biden just a few months ago, according to a CNN poll released on Wednesday. Now, it's so weird to me because if you watch CNN, everybody says, it's all this uncertainty, the market's terrible. But American households, while they're still feeling the effects from the Biden administration, which had the worst inflation in, 40 years, their opinion of Trump handling the economy has surged higher than it was with Biden. Biden left office in January with 33% of Americans saying they approved of his handling of the economy. I'd like to meet those 33%. I have some thoughts about those 33%, and I demand answers. However, President Trump now scores a 44% approval rating. That's way higher than Biden. Way higher. And it's higher than Biden scored in any of those CNN polls since December of 2021. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it's because people see what Donald Trump is doing on the economy. People see what's happening, and they understand that Trump is going America first. The markets are worried about uncertainty, but the American people understand that Trump is looking out for them. I got some audio that you need to listen to and some video you need to see over on the YouTube channel if you're watching us there that I'll bring to you on the way. Trump talking about Canada, Howard Lutnick weighing in on how we make Canada the 51st state, and more. Hang out with us, 11:30 on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're tracking the potential for severe weather. 2 rounds, and all of the things are on the table, including tornadoes. It starts late tomorrow night, then again on Saturday. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Russian President Vladimir Putin giving the U.S. and NATO something to talk about today. The BBC just reported Putin has agreed the fighting in Ukraine must end. But Putin says any plan has to lead to long-term peace and removal of root causes of the crisis, so the details need to be worked out. Putin's remarks come as President Trump is hosting NATO's Secretary General at the White House today. Meanwhile, Poland is requesting the U.S. give them nuclear weapons as a deterrent to Vladimir Putin invading them. And the man in Connecticut who intentionally set a fire so he can be rescued from what he says was a life of captivity. Waterbury Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo describing what fire crews saw once they went inside the home.
Fire investigators quickly realized that there was a room in the house that appeared to have locks on it from the exterior portion of the house. They began to speak to the male victim, who disclosed that he was being held captive in the house for an extended period of time, approximately 20 years.
The man only weighed 68 pounds, claimed he was being held captive by his stepmother. Well, if you haven't received a text message from your local toll road authority demanding payment of unpaid tolls, just give it time. Now, there's no toll road authority here in Tennessee, but there are in other states. And if you've gone there, the likelihood of being targeted by scammers posing as an operator vary widely. Data compiled by cybersecurity company McAfee, showing that Dallas leads the country in cities experiencing the highest percentage of text scams, followed by Atlanta, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Orlando. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
$11:32 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. Love these guys at the Glock Store. We're so lucky to have this showroom in Nashville. Now, if you're watching online or listening online and you're not in the Nashville area, you can always shop at the wonderful, wonderful GlockStore.com. But if you're in the Nashville area, man, it is the best place to be. Glocks are the most popular handgun in America, and it's because of the wide availability of customization and performance parts. I mean, they got everything. Competition triggers, night sights, extended controls, magwells, red dot optics. I could go on. There's too many to list. But rest assured, if it's for a Glock, well, it's going to be in stock at the Glock Store or online at GlockStore.com. But when you shop in store at the Glock Store retail showroom in Nashville, if they're open, they got a gunsmith on duty. And that gunsmith will install the parts that you buy for free while you wait. Now, if you need me to say it again, I'll say it again. They'll install the parts you buy for free while you wait. There's a lot of reasons like the Glock Store. Free parts installation is just one of them. The store is minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always online, GlockStore.com. 36 minutes past the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Get your water filtration system at betterwater.com. Find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV, live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and our personal favorite, YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Hit like, hit subscribe while you're on the YouTube page. It's free to do. And we're trying to beat Michelle Obama. She started a new podcast, millions of dollars behind this. And she's only got 18,000 subscribers. I feel like that's rookie numbers. We have dollars behind our YouTube channel. And we got, like a little over 7,000? If everybody listening right now went and subscribed to the YouTube channel, collectively, we would beat Big Mike. It's a tall order. We need your help.
Hey, just so you know, it takes more than one hand.
It does. It does. Currently, I don't know if you've been paying attention, gas is cheaper. Mortgage rates are lower. They've fallen 6 straight weeks. I mean, we're talking incremental, but they're falling. They're going in the right direction. And inflation is cooling. CNBC talking about inflation yesterday, saying, wow, this is progress.
On a headline, expecting up 0.3, up 0, goose egg, unched. Boy, that is progress. We haven't had a number that low. Well, we equaled it in July of last year when we had another 0. To find a lower number, you're back to October of 23 at minus 0.4. Strip out the all-important food and energy, down 1/10. Down 1/10. That's 0.4 lower than expectations. Down 1/10 also equals July of last year. Find a lower number, you're going back to COVID times, April of 2020.
Is this good? It feels like it's good. It feels like we're trending in the right direction, does it not? And we're all doing this while Donald Trump is transforming the American economy full blown. He's rebuilding the foundation, the America First Foundation, bringing back manufacturing jobs, bringing investment into America. The price of eggs dropped again. And you know what? We haven't even seen the chickens come back that Biden killed before he left office. We haven't even recouped all the chickens, and the egg prices are going down. You've noticed that the Democrats, they screamed about eggs for a while, and that's gone. They don't talk about eggs anymore. Weird how the talking point just evaporated. But Donald Trump is reckless. He creates a lot of uncertainty, makes people nervous. I think it's a good thing. I do. Trump was talking about that uncertainty that he's causing when it comes to tariffs in Canada. He brought this up in the Oval Office yesterday with the surcharges that Canada was going to put on them for electricity, and how confident he was that he would win that trade war. He said, I'll win it in an hour.
It's not going to be a tough battle. In my opinion, not going to be tough. Just like when Ontario charged us, everybody said, they just charged. I said, this will be won in 1 hour. And they announced what we were going to do, and they withdrew their little threat. And what they don't say in Canada is that 270%, have you ever heard that? We have tariffs on dairy products from Canada of 270%, going up to 400%. You never hear that. Canada's absolutely one of the worst. And we, when I say worst in terms of charging tariffs. Their dairy products, they charge our farmers 240, 250, 270, and 400%. Okay? Think of that for dairy product. And we charge them like peanuts. You know why? Because we've been improperly run for so many years. I had that all settled in my first term. But then, of course, Biden, he let everything go to hell.
I think that's putting it nicely, right? Like, that's reserved Trump. Let everything go to hell. Yeah. Actively destroyed the American economy. That's how I'd put it. But Trump's confidence is always there. The uncertainty in the markets is this lack of trust in Trump's negotiating style. And we've seen it play out time and time again. Remember the trade war with Colombia that lasted all of, 20 minutes? The trade war with Canada that lasted another 20 minutes? The way this guy negotiates is unlike anything we've ever seen. And Canada is taking advantage of us, taking advantage of our dairy farmers, taking advantage of us on the tariffs. With friends like these, who needs enemies? We want to merge the economies. Howard Lutnick, our Commerce Secretary, was talking about merging the economies. And he said, listen, there's one way, there's one actual way to merge the two economies. And that is, my friends, well, that's by making Canada the 51st state.
The end game here, could you eventually get to a point where there's that you've got a huge economy, you've conjoined, you've merged the economies of Canada and the United States? Can you get to that point, you think?
Well, the best way, the president has said it, the best way to actually merge the economies of Canada and the United States is for Canada to become our 51st state. If they want to merge it, that's how you make it the 51st state. But think about this for a second. Why are American cars made in Canada? Why are they made in Canada? To the president, it just doesn't make sense. Why are American cars made in Canada? Those jobs should be in America. And that's what the president thinks, and that's what he says, and that's what he's going to execute. So the key point is Canada's going to have to work with us to really integrate their economy. And as the president said, they should consider the amazing advantages of being the 51st state of the United States of America.
Think about the advantages. Think about the advantages. I don't know. I get the joke. I get the troll. I'm not sure about adding another liberal state into the equation. Or if you added what, it would be like 6 Canadian states. If you kept the provinces and did them all as states, we'd have a lot more libs. Not sure I'm a fan of that. You want to keep it as a territory, go whole U.S. Virgin Islands status where, yeah, you can have a governor, but you're not allowed to do really anything else when it comes to U.S. politics. I'd be for that. I'd be for that for sure. But we've had bad trade policies with Canada. We have bad trade policies all over the world. This is what Donald Trump is trying to fix. Everybody's freaking out about it, but he has a method to his madness. And I think that not a lot of people give him credit for this. He talks about the bad trade policies that have been affecting America for decades. And he talked about this yesterday inside the Oval Office while he was with the Irish Prime Minister.
And it doesn't make sense that our country allows electricity to be made in another country and sold into us. Who did that deal for the United States? Okay, I looked at that long ago, and I said that's not something that's very smart. So we've had a lot of bad trade policies, and yet we're doing very well right now. But we're doing well because I won the election. If I didn't win the election, you would have had a very bad period. I think a lot of the stock market going down was because of a really bad 4 years that we had. When you look at inflation and all of the other problems that were, wars and inflation and so many other problems. But we're going to have very good years. We had, I don't know if you saw a little thing like the cost of eggs, little to you, but big to people out there, down almost 30% in the last few days.
Yeah, the cost of eggs is falling. But what he said there a moment ago is that, this wouldn't be happening if I didn't win the election. And you can absolutely make the argument. The investment that we're seeing, $1.7 trillion in business investment, we haven't even felt the ripple of that in our economy yet. We haven't seen those jobs yet. We're going to, but you had these huge CEOs, big companies, countries saying, we wouldn't have made this investment if Joe Biden was the president. There was one Japanese CEO saying, I waited 4 years to make this investment. The business guys, the CEOs, the business owners, they know what time it is in America, and they understand the absolute advantage of investing in America currently under Donald Trump. There is an advantage now. There didn't used to be, but there is under Trump.
We got it down. We did a lot of things. We have a great Secretary of Agriculture, and we did a lot of things that got the cost of eggs down very substantially, and so many other things. A very big thing that I'm very happy with is oil is down to $65 a barrel, and that's faster than I would have attempted. We put on the gas. We stepped in the gas in order to get oil, and what's happening. So we're getting that down, and when energy comes down, prices are going to be coming down with it.
He's absolutely right. Nothing will ripple through the economy faster than energy prices. And we're already seeing gas come down. We're seeing this time and time again. Now we're dealing with our friends, right? Now the issues are with our friends. The EU putting tariffs on wine and champagne. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick responding to that. They put a 200% tariff on wine and champagne. So, Trump is responding, and Howard Lutnick making this statement. This was earlier. I got this clip earlier this morning. I believe this was last night.
The president has made it crystal clear that he finds this tit for tat really abusive and aggravating, right? His objective is steel and aluminum tariffs. Let him build his steel and aluminum business in America because that's important. And then, they say, okay, we're going to tax whiskey. And look, I find all this back and forth really off the topic. The key topic is rebalancing American trade. We're going to spend lots of time together, but the president was totally annoyed that the Europeans did this. And so you're going to hear back from someone who emotionally cares about America. He cares about America and he wants to take care of Americans.
So the tit for tat will continue until morale improves, apparently, but Trump is going to place a 200% tariff on wine and champagne coming out of the EU. That's a good thing. Trump's ultimate goal here is to improve the life of American citizens. Let's be perfectly honest. That's what he wants to do. Howard Lutnick was on with CBS, and he said, listen, he doesn't just want to improve your life. He wants to substantially improve it. And he said that one of the main goals that Trump has right now is to not tax anyone in the country who makes less than $150,000. It's a big goal, but golly, could you imagine if he could accomplish this?
Is to have external revenue. The way I think about it, we all are so used to paying taxes. We're so used to it. We have like Stockholm syndrome.
Nailed it.
Don't stop the Internal Revenue Service, God forbid. How about this? The rest of the world leans on our economy, breathes off our economy. Not only is our economy $29 trillion GDP, but we consume $20 trillion a year. We are the buyer of everybody's stuff. We buy everybody's stuff. So who's more important, the people who sell stuff or the people who buy stuff? So we are the buyer of everybody's commodities, products, goods and services. Everything comes from us, right? Let them pay a membership fee. We all understand that model. Let them pay. How about we, you and I, and every single person we know pay less? How about no tax on tips? How about no tax on overtime? How about no Social Security? How about all those things? These are the kind of thoughts that will change America. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal.
Could you imagine if that goal could be accomplished in this Trump administration? It would fundamentally change America. Americans' lives would be fundamentally better if that could be accomplished. Now, it's a big goal. It's a big goal, and there's a long way to get to it. But just even hearing that that's the goal gives me so much hope for this country. Trump is looking out for the American people. And we haven't had a guy doing this for us in quite a long time. It's 11:49 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. When we get back, we'll check in with Chad Benson, see what's coming up on the Chad Benson Show right here on Super Talk. 55 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7
55
WTN.
past the hour. 40 minutes nonstop coming up. Hour and 5 minutes towards the top of the next hour.
This guy. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Gay frogs, betterwater.com.
Gay frogs everywhere. Gay frogs. Super gay frogs.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Betterwater.com. Chad Benson's in the studio.
What?
What's up, man?
What are you up to, brother?
Not much, just talking, doing news. We've been. I decided that we have a new initiative here. It's Operation Beat Big Mike.
I heard you guys talking about that.
Millions of dollars behind her podcast.
I watched one of them.
Millions. You're one of the only ones that didn't go straight to the comments.
I wanted to see. You know what? Actually, it wasn't as awful as you think. When they stop trying to be fake and they just have a conversation, the conversation I did find interesting is she doesn't want anything to do with D.C.
No, not one bit.
No, she never did. Like the push to her, she didn't want to do anything when it came to when he ran.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
It's crazy.
Joy Reid, too, had to talk her into, because that's what I said. That's what I said. That he looks like Joy Reid.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, what's going on with Joy? Oh, that's not Joy?
Craig.
He looks like he's wearing makeup.
He's a little bit fancy.
He does.
He looks like he wears more makeup than Michelle.
Yeah, yeah. But I just, I watched a little bit. And I thought, it's not the worst, but for all of the money and the name.
Yes. Well, it just shows that they don't have the clout that they once had. You're Michelle Obama, and you have 18,000 subscribers right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars behind it. We have dollars behind us, and we have almost half of that. Almost half, right? And, like, all of us put together, we don't have, like, you could put me, you, Murphy, Mandis, all in a room together, and we could flex our muscle with the audience that we have. We wouldn't come close to the name recognition of Michelle Obama.
Nor should we at that, but she's the former first lady.
And they blew it. They haven't even had 100,000 views on all of their 4 videos combined.
Yeah, it is a interesting thing that they have, and I think part of it is you're not interesting. Like Michelle going on shows is interesting. Like even Gavin Newsom, I watched not only with Charlie Kirk, but I watched with
Savage
and I watched with Bannon, and I thought, first of all, say what you want about Gavin Newsom, brilliant idea.
Well, and you can make the argument that Newsom's views, especially if you look at the views on the Michael Savage.
Oh yeah,
Newsom's views are very much dependent on the guest he's bringing
100%.
in. 100%. So, and I mean, it's just on full display. And if it was just Newsom by himself with his gay brother, he would just be doing the same numbers as Michelle Obama, or worse.
The interesting thing about Gavin, the one thing I've always said about Gavin, because he and I got into it when he was running for governor a long time ago, and I had to be pushed into another room, but because that was after he cheated on his wife, and I'm like, dude, you want people to trust you, but you slept with your best friend's wife, who happened to be your guy, but whatever.
And he's like, but did you see the statue that I put up for myself in the lobby?
Nice. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I will say this: he's never been afraid to go places. He'll go talk to anybody, and that's something that most people on the left won't do. He will go talk. Whether it's Corolla or any of these, he'll go Hannity. He'll go sit down and talk with people.
True.
Which is something I can say most people, and 2 years out, he is astute. He has an understanding. I was on this morning, I did the show with the Chicks on the Right, and we were talking about this. People don't realize he's very engaging. It's like one of those people on the left who meet Trump and they're like, dude, he's actually kind of fun. Gavin's the same way. You meet him, you're like, this is kind of cool. He's not, he's smarmy or he's whatever, but he's all right. He's very, I screwed up at the Fred Laundry, like with Charlie's like, and he's like, I screwed up. What was I thinking? That was stupid. The biggest bonehead move. Everybody starts laughing, and guess what? Kills the whole thing. Yeah, we don't have to, okay, you've apologized. We're moving on. It's going to be interesting because he'll be 2 years removed, and if you look around, the only person I look over there and think, who has any opportunity of doing anything is Rahm Emanuel if he wants, because I think he's not nuts.
Really?
Yeah, I think he is not nuts.
See, I think but I could see Rahm. I would put him at number 4 behind Shapiro, Westmore, and Newsom.
That's if Shapiro, Westmore, and West. There's a Frady cat. He would not come on. He will not come on my show when I'm in Texas. Biggest station, one of the biggest talk stations in Texas. He wouldn't come on my show. I told him I'd give him an hour because I gave Ted Cruz an hour.
Scared.
Yeah, he said no, I don't want to.
Well, Shapiro, though, I thought Shapiro, by sitting out being the VP,
smart thing.
He knew what he was doing. I thought he was positioning himself for 28 then.
I think he's in the if he jumps in, he would be the leader right now. But it depends on how crazy you go. Because Rahm's already said, man, I don't want to talk about girls' bathrooms and boys' bathrooms. I want to talk about the classroom. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. You guys need to stay away from that lunacy. You're screwing the party.
Yeah, and Shapiro, I mean, he still may be a bit too Jewish for the base.
It is possible. Well, especially right now. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.